Tennessee baseball. What was your reaction to Crochet's deal yesterday?
No, I mean, it's Tennessee baseball. It's incredible to look back on just the recruitment process, and the start of our time here was the start of his time as well, and then how he developed. Probably, I'll just, sorry to sound like recruiting mode, but the good thing about the people that I work with is they treat everyone as an individual and figure out what do we got to do to get the most out of this guy. And for him, there was ability there. I think it's even a little overrated about how he went from, just an average stuff guy to phenomenal stuff guy. The stuff definitely got better, but I think he just needed to mature as a baseball player and get routines and really start to figure out what true confidence is, because we all thought he could be real good once we were around him, but I think, at times, I don't think he realized how good he could be. And certainly he does now, and essentially what those guys are doing are investing in what they see. First with the trade, and then obviously he's around them with work ethic and other things. They're saying like, we were right with the trade. We want to be right again. So kudos to him, and obviously we're happy for the organization.
What do you think of AJ's return? What did you like from his inning of work?
Yeah, it was good that it was efficient, because right or wrong, I maybe put a kind of little extra pressure on the kid and just told him, hey, it's going to be 4 or 5 hitters no matter what, just because it was, LL Cool J would say don't call it a comeback because he's already thrown once, but we had that little separation in there. And again, all that started just because he really did abnormal things to get himself back in, really his kind of record time is not being over dramatic. So we kind of took a timeout, so let's build up pitch count and get closer to the date that was the target date, which would have been last week. He was a little sick, so we didn't mess with it. Like I said, could have went last week, but this was the restart of everything. So the fact that it was efficient and, didn't get to a situation where you got to pull him or anything like that was great. But also the ball was coming out of his hand. And I think the benefit of him throwing a ton in his rehab process is instead of just throwing every pitch like he's trying to throw it through a brick wall, he can pitch a little bit. You saw the velo kind of sporadic there, and that's intentional. It's not because he can't repeat his delivery or anything like that. So a lot of positive, and I think he even went down to the bullpen and worked on some things off speed-wise. So the more reps, the better for him.
What's the next step in progression for him, innings-wise, outings-wise, once a week?
Probably next week, and I'm glad he didn't fight us on the coming out of the game again. I think it was 12 pitches in this first inning, so he would have stayed under a reasonable pitch count if we would have put him back out there, I feel. So probably just to get more in a routine where it's a preparation bullpen and then a competitive day, and more than likely that next competitive day would be next Tuesday, and try and stack another inning on top of another one would be ideal. But you saw tonight, we're always going to get tested, and we're trying to win these games too. On Tuesday, it's tough. I talked with another SEC coach 2 days ago. I'm talking with Coach Van Horn, and you're trying to win on Tuesday, but you're also trying to do some other. That's dicey, but it's also a point in the year where I think every coach in the league says, yeah, that makes sense. That's what we got to get done. You got to keep guys rested, keep guys involved, try to win, but also kinds of other things. So we want to win next Tuesday, but he'll pitch.
Do you have a vision long term for what his role could be?
I do, but I haven't discussed that with him yet. So I'll do that with him tomorrow, and then maybe we'll share that. But it's, plan A never works out. Like I said, we had plan A was, what it was, hang on, and then another plan A, and something quirky happens. I mean, he even got hit with a foul ball on his foot a while back on his toes. So we'll discuss what plan A is, and then fully be ready to adapt and improvise and overcome.
What can you say about Blake Brimmer at this point?
He's good, and he deserves everything he gets. I mean, there's no. That's not like a good coaching move to put him in the lineup. It may look like that if you or a young kid in the stands or something like that. But if you're at practice or anything like that, or the kid from high school, blue chip recruit, always been a good hitter, was a really good shortstop, but he got injured a bunch and had to overcome that. And he's from Michigan, great place, but you need reps when you're from the north. And so all that combined, last year's team was good. I'll go ahead and throw it in one more time. You got games being cut to short 7 innings. So he's now where he wanted to be and we wanted him to be. And he deserves to be out there. So he's good. So no smart move there, which is kind of a hot topic because I don't, if I could send out an Instagram, or which I'm not traveling, so I'm not using it, or a tweet, don't send me some of the stuff that's on the internet. That's very goofy. Yeah, we're still trying to figure things out here.
Who impressed you the most coming out of the bullpen tonight?
It's a tough one, and a good jacket too. It would have been Snead if he would have pitched, because he's a big-time Brewers fan as well. But I think there was a glimpse, a little bit for everybody. Deloy was himself. I think the last two times out, he wasn't as good as he's capable of being. But we also throw him in the fire nonstop. So he was very sharp, but I was just glad we were able to score enough and play good enough defense, and everybody was able to hand the baton off to the next guy, that we were able to get a bunch of guys involved. Would have even liked a couple more guys. It could have been Thacker. He just hasn't done well against lefties. I mean, I haven't said that to him, but I'm saying it now, so maybe I need to say that as another meeting tomorrow. I like the way he was throwing the ball the best. It's just those lefties have got in there, and he needs to do better against those guys.
Couple more guys.
What have you liked from Reese defensively?
Chapman?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good out there. I mean, it's funny how these high school kids get to, and I don't know the formula. I mean, Dominic Fletcher's in the big leagues, Benny. There's a couple guys that just get that they got it. It's natural, or they're from the South and they've got a bunch of reps. But most high school outfielders don't get the work in that they need. And Jay wasn't, and Nui, those guys weren't even outfielders in high school. So it's a position that is underlooked or undervalued defensively, but it is huge when you got a guy out there like Jordan Beck, Christian Scott, KT, and now Reese. We've had 4 defenders, and C. Scott was already pretty good, but those other 3 guys have had to start from scratch almost. If you're going like where they were at Frank Anderson's expectations, So, yeah. So I just like the fact he's worked himself into a guy that can impact the game. I mean, that's what Ariel's got going on. Is it's one thing to have a shortstop you can trust on defense. It's another deal when it can kind of change the course of the game, and Reese can do that.
When you, as a coach, when you're getting ready to face a team that you know the talent is better than what the record is there part of you as a coach that's like, that's not a team I kind of want to see right now? Because
No.
at some point the record would even out.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of brings out the question, who's your rival in the league? All of them. And who's the toughest? Where's the toughest place to go play? It's all of them. And, it's the same thing this weekend. So I don't even know what the record is. You mentioned that. And it really doesn't matter once you start the series. It's only about what's going on Friday. And you can't even worry too much. I mean, TBA will kind of be maybe thrown out the window this weekend, but sometimes we don't even announce a starter on Sunday because it may not come because of the rain. So it's all about just what's going on Friday, and what you'll have is 2 teams that, to me, are still both trying to find themselves a little bit. We've been fortunate enough to have success, but we're still trying to find ourselves. Maybe Russell kind of brings something new to it too, and it's an addition, but there's other subtractions, and Grimmer, and still trying to find out our best version of ourselves. And they're obviously doing the same thing too. But I know 2 no-doubters is, there's no doubt there's a reason they were picked number 1 in the country. They don't just hand that out willy-nilly. They got a lot of oil money down there, but I don't think they paid anybody for that to happen. I'm being facetious, obviously, but they were given that for a reason. And then there's a reason those kids wanted to play for that coach. And there's a reason why those coaches on that staff, one of which I recruited the kid and signed him, they're good dudes, but they're also good coaches that are proven. So they're just trying to find that formula, I think, where they're having as much success yielded on the scoreboard as you'd like. But sometimes the scoreboard doesn't tell the whole story. So again, the talent part and the coaching part are there. It's not our responsibility or any of our business what else is going on, but it is similar to us, trying to find our best version of ourselves.
How difficult is Ariel made it to potentially take him out of the lineup whenever Gavin's back in full speed?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of back to my Sunday thing. We'll worry about really Saturday when Saturday comes, as far as game 2 against our SEC opponent, and then Sunday's even further down the road. So I think right now the thing for us is to get Gavin in the lineup, and then probably next would be defense. I don't know that it would come together. So I get the question. It's a good one. But that problem's been there from the start. I mean, I was, knew he was out there and left doing something goofy tonight. We're kind of communicating with him from the dugout, and it made me think of all the guys we've had out there, and Fisher is one of them. And that's all just been a part of the process of this good problem we have of how do you keep Grimmer, Newstrom involved, and Ariel and Manny and both catchers and Levi. And so it's a good problem to have. It's a deep group. It's an unselfish group on offense. And there's also a lot of interchangeable parts. I mean, Bargo, example number one, you can kind of stick them wherever you want and expect them to show up and play ball.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everybody. Thanks,